This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, I'm playing one of my favorite decks, an underrated deck in my opinion, and a total blast to play. This is Jeskai, Narset, Spells, Ramp, Yorion. I don't know the right way to say it, but I did the 60 card version a while back, and I even alluded to doing a Yorion version because it basically lets me play my favorite decks twice within about 30 days instead of only once every 30 days for the sake of content on the channel. And so today we're doing the Yorion version, and it is sweet. If you remember the last version, the primary concept of the deck is that it's spell ramp. You want to play some defensive cards for the first 2 or 3 turns. Then you play a Galazeth Prismari, a Narset of the Ancient Way, something like that. Or you use a Prismari command making treasures, or you discard a Magma Opus to make treasures to ramp you. But all of these effects have the advantage of giving you a little bit more mana, so that through the mid game, after the mid game passes and you have a few treasures lying around or a Narset lying around, you use them to make mana and cast a giant inspired ultimatum or Magma Opus or Alrund's Epiphany or even Seagate Restoration ahead of schedule, and you use that advantage to take over the game. These cards are super powerful. It's just really awkward to cast them, and a few treasures goes a long way. That's why adding Prismari Command and Magma Opus to the deck from Strixhaven has made a huge difference. If your opponent is just vomiting creatures onto the board, you also have the sweet combination with Draconic Intervention. As an additional cost, you have to exile an instant or sorcery, but we have a lot of ways to discard them with Prismari Command, Narset of the Ancient Way, and Magma Opus, which discards itself. That's the other reason that we run all these Seagate Restorations. Once you've discarded one of these big spells, casting Draconic Intervention and exiling a mono red or Winota player's whole board is usually enough to completely conquer the game on its own, as then they don't have time to rebuild their board and kill you before you start casting Inspired Ultimatum, gaining 5 life, or Magma Opus, killing all their stuff again and again. To turn this into a Yorion deck, we added Omen of the Sea, we added some Spikefield Hazard for land, which is a good cheap removal spell. We also have 2 Mystical Disputes hiding out in the deck to hopefully help us out if we play against the Emergent Ultimatum type decks or the other control decks of the format, because you need to resolve a big spell, and sometimes they don't see a Mystical Dispute coming to protect that spell. Alrund's Epiphany is particularly nice with Narset. If you foretell an Alrund's Epiphany, then play a Narset and it sticks around for a turn. The Narset Plus lets you ramp into the Epiphany, and then you're already on 6 loyalty, so you can ultimate the Narset, and then you get 2 damage every single time you cast any spell, which is very much a win con on its own. Overall, what I absolutely love about the deck is resolving Inspired Ultimatum, which reminds me of good old Sphinx of Revelation from back in the day. You gain 5 life, you draw 5 cards, and you get to kill something, including hitting the opponent in the face if necessary. So this is my favorite card in the deck, and while I love also casting huge Seagate Restorations, I think that Inspired Ultimatum is just one of those cards that is not going to see all the play that I think it deserves and that I enjoy on the level that I enjoy it before it rotates. So every time I get a chance to play an Inspired Ultimatum deck, my heart pitter-patters a little. I hope you'll enjoy it as well. So today I'm going out to see my first movie in the theater with my wife in 2 years. It used to be a weekly tradition for us ever since we met a long time ago. So the idea of getting to take her back to the movies is really exciting, and I'm going out to see Fast and Furious 9 because nonsense movies also are very exciting. It was really funny. We were both talking, and we can kind of go through like the years of our life by which Fast and Furious movie we saw that summer and where we were at in our lives. It's kind of ridiculous how far we've come. But the very first Fast and the Furious movie was a very, very long time ago. It was a beautiful summer for me, growing up in my little hometown at a tiny theater that no longer exists in Petoskey, Michigan, and kind of sneaking into that movie after also going to see, I believe it was Jurassic Park 3, because some very adorable girls wanted me to come with them to see the Fast and the Furious movie instead. Of course I'm gonna say yes. Anyway, silly little story time before we dive into the gameplay. I hope you'll forgive me, as I usually don't get personal and I usually stick to Magic the Gathering, but just feeling nostalgic today. And to those of you out there who are in a place where you can go back to the movies, I hope that you have some fun. And to those who can't, hang in there. I, of course, am here with entertainment coming right into your home every day until better days arrive. So let's dive in. Oh, also, I forgot to say it in the outro. Oh no, order. I revealed I recorded in the wrong order. But use UntapGG and the deck list link in the description to check out the stats for the deck if you want to know things like the win rates and the changes I make along the way and things of that nature. UntapGG is great for that. And if you download the companion while you're there, it supports the channel. So thank you very much for that. Okay, now, dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Bone Crushers, are they good? Are they good enough? Shuffler's so fine. We put our faith in the Bone Crusher Giant to deliver the victory. Opponent, no 1-drop. Let's hope it's a 2-drop we can stomp on and feel good about ourselves. It kind of is. They get a little value. That's okay. Science is, while you're tapped out, may as well. Nice to see them having a little mana trouble. We are having mana trouble too. We need to draw an untapped land. Untapped land and our curve gets a lot better. It's not exactly what I had in mind there. All right, play this, say go. We might have to stomp something. Spellbindies. Which overpriced card would you like? I might take the Omen, so our next land is harder to find, which means I should sack the Passage, which means I should get red? Red. I mean, every card here costs $1 million, so yay. And now we just need to draw land for 3 straight turns. Something we did the opposite of for the last several. Hey! Play Giant or play Omen. Giants. Let's get board presence. Board presence to fight these Venotas. All right, it's on the clock now. Get me to 7 mana, or maybe even 6, and it's on. All right, another removal spell isn't a bad draw either. Okay, they build to double board, no problem. So if they have Winota, we lose. Nothing there. Nothing there. So are we going to die? I need to be able to make a treasure. Do I have another way to get a card in the graveyard here? Not really. So I guess we say go. Hope the opponent bails. Of course, Draconic Intervention. The Alseid can save from it. Actually, can we... We can play the Giant, but then we lose our treasure, which I think we're going to need. Yeah, I think the best play is to say go and dare them to go for Winota. Nice. Bring out some more. Pay 3 mana. Okay. They're going to hold up 1 mana. No fear of a Shark Typhoon or anything like that. 14. Make treasure. All right, come on, lands. That'll do. That's blue. They didn't save something with the Alseid. That's a move of sadness there. Blade Historian is here. but it's not going to get the job done. Tap land means next turn we have access to these cards. Let's play you and make a Foretold Epiphany and prepare ourselves. Double Blade Historian. Good game, you say. We don't need to double block. I just like to be a little extra in moments like these. Opponent knows what's coming. They know the pain that they're about to endure. Oh my goodness, an Opus as well? Big spell burn is taking its toll. Ooh, it's sweet, isn't it? Isn't it sweet? Winota decks without Winota. Sad apparition that can't hit anything. And out of there. Whew, that was scary. All right, on the play. Lots of selection. Maybe a Prismari command that does something. We'll see. By do something, I mean, does it like kill something of theirs? They always do something. Sometimes it's just a little ramp. Mono red? Is that you? Is that you? Tome to the battlefield. Start finding me the goods. Get ready to gain me that life. We gotta get to pretty high altitudes. Prismari command does do something. 5/5. But we've got to find an untapped land. Please find an untapped land. Thank you. Thank you, deck. We're on the same page right now. One less robber in the world. Get hardened in the forge. Well, if I find a way to deal 2 damage, this can be helpful. So next turn we might Epiphany, so I'll go ahead and foretell this. Although the treasure would much rather cast the ultimatum, so hopefully we can do better than that. They didn't play anything. Gutsy. I wish I had a way to interfere with that. Scorching Dragonfire would be quite the blowout. So, like, if they're gonna do that anyway, okay, then they're not gonna send out the Rimrock Knight. That's weird. Land? Okay. I mean, I'm not hurting that badly. They might send Annex and Faceless Haven next turn. Do we buy a Yorion? No. It's been awkward. It's been an awkward draw. But if the opponent doesn't put enough pressure on us with the 4 life from the tome, with the Omen, we can probably Epiphany into Ultimatum. Yeah, like they are playing really cautiously. They are so scared of getting board wiped, they're not putting up enough damage. They don't know how powerful our late game becomes. Casket and another ultimatum that I can't cast because we're on 6. So the hazard gets me there, but I need to fill another turn, which I can do. Play hazard, play casket, play tome. Next turn, play Epiphany. The next turn, play ultimatum, play other ultimatum. Because we'll definitely draw a land off the ultimatum, right? Right? I think so. Could also buy Yorion here. But I think the tome is good. The life gain can be important. It's a lot of tapped lands this game. It's made it difficult, but I think we're knocking on heaven's door. Phoenix is here. And a pump. They're so careful. They're so afraid. It's pretty good. They try that crap with the Phoenix again, I'll stomp them. Alright. Auron's Epiphany, let's go. First big spell. Magma Opus. That's another big spell. I think enough is enough. Let's draw some land, thank you. Gain 5, draw 5. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Yeah. They might kill one and then we can still block. Oh, mono red. You've never seen such power. Busting out the monocolor manual taps. You'll love to see it. Fervent champion. Rimrock of the night. That should have been in the song for sure. Little does opponent know I'm about to gain even more. Yeah, as long as I have land to play all this stuff, I don't think I'm gonna come close to losing. Do. Have you had enough? Have you had enough pain? Not yet? Okay. Plenty more where that came from. Narset. Bang bang. Up to 19. I can do this all day. I've got another ultimatum right here and 49 cards to go. What would you like? What would you like next? Somebody in my Discord called this deck when I played the 60 card version the Mono Red Nightmare, and it is holding up. You seem like an Ember Cleaver, but let's see it. Imagine being stopped by a bird. Let's go. Why not? When you're resolving Seagate Restoration against Mono Red, you know it's over. All right, so which toy will we unleash upon them next? I'm feeling some Magma Opus. Can we cast that? Nope. Too expensive. All right, so let's just say go, I think. After we peck away with some birds. You gotta admire their spirit. This version of Mono Red never surrender. Never. Okay, yeah, get it right. It's hard to decide where and how to attack in such a situation. Yeah, no. Oops, no blocks. I messed up. Target acquired. The mighty Embercleave has found the battlefield. Now that's exiled and never will return, and this is gonna die. The power of card draw. Emblem.
Now I will show you a master's skill.
Now I will show you a master's skill. I couldn't have said it better myself, Narset. Couldn't have said it better myself. I know, nice. Yeah, pretty good. Good game. Good game, sir. Didn't even have to magma opus them out the door. Casket tome. Go from there. Don't have a instant sorcery to throw into the yard yet for the intervention, so hopefully one comes along. Or we draw Narset or Prismari command to discard one of these. All right, DFCs. Narset is in the house, but land is necessary. What are you up to? Who are you? Goodbye, Yorion. Let's do it. Let's do it. What plays this combination of cards and doesn't even play a creature until turn 3? And it's a Woe Strider. Land check. Heat check. We already drew one. Yeah, buddy. On fire today. Just drawing our way right out of trouble. Let's get red. It can cast Draconic Intervention. Also, you need triple red for the ultimatum. I think I love getting Narset down. We could also casket the Woe Strider and draw a tome, but I think this is just fine. I really want to get one of these into the graveyard in case I need to cast the intervention later. Our opponent's playing some kind of a sacrifice deck, so being able to exile their board at some point will probably be important. Kick them down, baby. Narset delivering the boot. Lurie. Okay, nothing to get back yet. Just a Nightmare Cat on the battlefield. Land. Absolutely on fire today. Blue or white? I don't know if it matters. Stompy Stomps? They might have a way to get this back, but we'll take a shot. Village Rites, maybe? Yeah, maybe I should have used the casket instead there. Not enough thought gone into that one. Alright, I think I put this on the battlefield so that my Yorion can blink the tome and the casket next turn, potentially. But yeah, if I was going to play this anyway, I definitely should have played it before the giant. So give myself an oops. I got overconfident. Things were going way too well. So it's an Eidolon deck that also runs Luminarch Aspirant. Let's hold off on the tome. We can blink it with Yorion. We don't need the life or the card right now. Beautiful. Red, red, blue, blue. Let's go get white. Fable Passage is just there for us this game. All right, plus, make it red. Target me. Let's kill this thing. If we can. Five damage. 5 cards, 5 life. Okay, that's a lot of land. That's a lot of land. I want my other Inspired Ultimatum back now. There's another Luris. You could guess they had it because of the way they ran out the first one. So now they play their Aspirant. They put a counter on the Eidolon. They attack down the Narset. But Narset endures. I imagine this deck is really good against aggro. Let's try to preserve Narset by casting the Draconic Intervention here. Exile this whole squad. Pretty brutal. We can play Mystical Dispute on something, or we can cycle the Triomes. Archon of Sun's Grace. That's an interesting one. Magma Opus kills it, so it's fine. We find a Prismari command. No current exciting targets. I think we'll just do this now with the extra mana from the Narset. Not that it particularly matters, unless they pull a blue spell out of nowhere, but... Alright. That was a massacre. The anti-aggro decks do not want to run into this buzzsaw. We found a top 100 opponent who is on the play. Probably a worthy challenge. Never mind. Same crap. This is mono red. All right, this hand is not great. Not great, but they don't have Haven, and they don't have 2-drop, so their hand is not great either. Let's play the Tome. We'll Casket the Annex. We'll Elspeth the Torbran, and we'll gain some life from this at some point. I love that they have Haven and Castle. We'll see if I live to regret that, but right now I'm feeling good about it. Good scry, got something to the bottom. Alrund's Epiphany. It'll be a good draw if we get there. It's hard to get there. Hand it over. Really looking for Draconic Intervention, to be honest. Magma Opus Intervention is what really shuts them down. They have another one. They always have 2. When they need it, they always have 2. It's not an intervention, so we're gonna bottom it. Okay, so we can foretell, pass with mana open, and hope that they don't. Just really hope that they don't Embercleave. They're still missing a land. They have a weird hand, but it must have Embercleave. It must. They find land. How do they always have this too? How do they always have it? Okay, we're just... Okay, they can't Embercleave. They tap too much red. All right, now we have to find Draconic Intervention. Down to 7. Yuck. All right. Scry. Draconic Intervention. Inspired Ultimatum. Not good enough. Make a treasure. Draconic Intervention. Back up to 11, by the way. Not there. Draw. Not there. Main. How do we get through this? Let's start with making some burbs. And we get another draw at the intervention. You can't say we didn't try, man. You can't say we didn't try. We get to get rid of the annex. Okay. Nothing in the graveyard other than this Magma Opus, though. Good Frostbite. And now they can pump with the castle, so they've got a mega attack. If we draw land, we have a Alrund's Epiphany for another set of turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We can trade with the tokens. We're kind of trying to hit a board wipe anyway, right? I mean, I guess, well, if we get to Magma Opus, that also sweeps the board, so this play is fine. Down to 3. Inspired Ultimatum. We die, don't we? We're just dead? Off by 1 land? So that's what it takes to lose to mono red? Ugh. I feel gross. I feel really gross. On the play. Let's see mono red beat this. Good game. All right, opponent goes first. Bet this person doesn't scoop on turn 1. It's also Yorion, which our hand is pretty bad against. It's a good anti-aggro hand. Not a good anti-Yorion hand, so I guess we're probably mulliganing. I really want a tome, 3 or 4 lands. Mystical Dispute would be great. Ugh. But, yeah. What do? We put away the hazard? We could just save the hazard and all the land and put away the Epiphany. But the Epiphany gives us something to do. Saving the Ultimatum feels weird. Maybe I wasn't supposed to keep it. Maybe I have too much faith in drawing land from my other games. Their ultimatums are better than mine. Let's be real. Sultai's ultimatums do not take prisoners. Foretell the Epiphany. You can try playing Giant next turn. It's probably not good. Just gets them to cast Binding though, which makes Narset more likely to stay. But yeah, if we don't find a Mystical Dispute, or we don't ramp somehow more than them, which is very unlikely on the draw against a deck with ramp spells, then we're probably gonna die. So, do we get your Binding? It's also important, if you can put something out to get hit by Binding, that you do it before they buy their Yorion. But here they buy their Yorion, which is really bad for us. So now we have to hope that they don't have Binding. If they do, the Binding will hit the Narset, which is pretty painful. So we'll just draw a card with the Narset, since it's going to die anyway.
Soul must strike with a cunning mind.
If it doesn't die, we could start the Epiphanies next turn. Epiphany Ultimatum would be a good way to get in the game. Pay 3. What are you doing? That's not a Binding. Shadow's Verdict? That would be sweet. That would mean Bone Crusher Giant did its job. Not so sweet, but we can kill it. We can kill it. I'm trying to decide the right way to, and I think this is what I want to do. We want to get Narset up to 3 loyalty. And then we can minus the Narset to kick this. But now we can also take another turn. So that's pretty good. We can also ultimatum.
Let me help you practice.
Let's keep taking turns. It does ramp us in a way. Another ultimatum. So we could attack, the Gargaroth will block something, and then we could ultimatum it, but that draws them an extra card. I think just kicking the Gargaroth out of the way is pretty good, but we don't do anything else with our turn, which is bad. This is stressful. But we're in such a good spot, I shouldn't be too worried. Let's kick the Gargaroth, and then try to burn the opponent out.
Meditate with me.
Oh, we also drew another red, but this triple blue means that we're not going to get to cast the ultimatum from hand. So we play this, buy this, and the opponent still can't ultimatum. So we did, like, they're still 2 lands short of an ultimatum. So we did outramp them because of all of the all-runs epiphanies, which is incredible. Also Narset. Narset did some heavy lifting. I do wish I'd played this on white. If I had played it on white, we could have ended the game that turn with hardcast ultimatum to the face, which would have been just much more pleasing in every way. But as it is, the opponent's going to play Yorion. We're going to untap. We're going to get inspired. Bang! Good old burn tactics. We've got a Mystical Dispute against the Yorion deck, so let's give it a shot. We've also got Galazeth, which we haven't seen today. Bonecrusher Giant, who did some work last time, and Narset, who did some work last time. I don't care what anybody says, this deck is good, and it's sweet. This is a much more fun way to play Magic the Gathering than your typical Rogues Emergent Ultimatum piles. It does take some planning. It is a little tricky. You have to get used to it. You'll probably lose 5 games and leave me a comment saying it's trash. But that's because you know, that's because you didn't take the time to finesse and get to know this beautiful, beautiful pile. I know. Today, the lines are so complicated so far. Are you impressed? Both sides of Bonecrusher Giant. A line a mono red player could figure out. Alright. Galazeth or Narset? Galazeth. Galazeth can attack. It is a big sequence coming up. If our opponent can kill this, we don't have any pressure on them. Foretell. Okay. If they go for an Epiphany and we dispute it, that's a big tempo swing. Six mana, 7 with the Narset, 8 top deck land is Opus. We could also play Elspeth Conquers Death this turn and then they're taxed the following turn. What are we doing with Narset this turn? Just drawing a card, right? But that makes it even more likely we'll find the untapped land to run right into an Opus. They've got something. What have you? Okay. Not the scariest thing I've ever seen. Wasn't a Heartless Act. They double bottom. Let's draw. And decline. And attack. And hope they go for that epiphany. Go for that epiphany. Well, we can cast Ultimatum next turn if we don't draw the untapped land for the Opus. Boom! I have a dispute. And I have my own. Oh. It's beautiful. My turn. Not the greatest draw. We didn't get to the Opus. All right, not white. All right, down to 2. They might pull off this ultimatum, but I can burn your face in a number of ways. Does it get you out of it? Does it get you out of going face? Let's see what you got in there. It's kind of funny how this deck turns into a burn deck. Yeah, you don't get another turn. When your own face burns, remember that I lit the flame, Tibbies. Hiya. Opponent goes first, but I guess I'm keeping double casket hand. We have to draw land though. It's a very risky keep, but if we get to land 4, we have Prismari, then we have ECD. Good stuff can happen. The Prismari command is helpful. It can produce mana. We're gonna have to draw a natural land in like the next 3 turns. 2 to 3 turns. 2, preferably. Here we go now. Opponent going straight to the bounty. They're probably a Winota deck. That's a good draw. They're probably a Winota deck, so let's just take out the... Let's try to leave the humans. Force the humans to beat us. No Elite Spellbinder, no Elite Spellbinder, no Elite Spellbinder. Battlefield Raptor. 2 Battlefield Raptor. Okay, well. The humans are going to beat us. What can we do? We can play another casket, play this tapped. I think that's the way. If they have Winota, we lose. If they don't, they have a bunch of raptors. Those don't scare me as much. So let's take our chances. Man, going second sucks. Well, that's why this deck is the deck in best of 1. It's the only one that really matters. That was not convincing hits. Can we somehow kill 2 of these? I would have to draw it into like land Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, our draw was pretty bad too, huh? No? All right. Well, we need them to whiff again, which seems really unlikely. Like really, really unlikely. Intervention is there. Really unlikely. Also, we didn't hit land. So, we were running hot earlier. It looks like we ran out of running hot. That saves Winota from the intervention. That's another creature. Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it. And there's only so much hot you can run. It's kind of gross that a hand with 2 removal spells on the draw just can't, not even close to keeping up. But that is the world we live in. Here we are on the draw again. This hand has more land, which we desperately needed last game. And all of these can be classified as removal. Let's see if we keep up this time. Black. Black with Gigantha. What's this? Rakdos? Sacrifice? One way to find out. Foretell the Alrund's Epiphany instead of holding up Bone Crusher, even though, I don't know, we'll see if that was the right line, but they're probably going to play like a Woe Strider, in which case we drop a Casket. They have something that's holding priority on an empty board. Maybe it's a Cling to Dust. Turn 3, I buy Gigantha. Nope, we're going full control Kroxa. I guess one of these Narsets can go. I don't have a big spell to throw in the graveyard for an intervention, because I foretold my Epiphany. I did wonder if I should have saved it when I did that to discard, which is kind of weird, but we have enough Narset. That is for sure. Do we buy the Yorion? I think so. Try to play a value game. I haven't drawn a land yet, but we've drawn 2 Narsets. Shuffler, convince me that you're fine. Just try. Opponent, I think, is going to grind us to pieces with Village Rites at the rate this is going. One less goat. The important thing that we need to do is get to our big spells. As long as we do that, all their like steal and sacrificey stuff won't do. As long as we don't lose to Kroxa. So I'm probably not casting this Yorion. We'll see about that. But same with this Giant. Probably just let those be discard fodder. Oh, I like that. They got rid of their Kroxa to bring this back. I like that a lot. Play the Narset, plus the Narset, gain the life. Always go blue. And play the Casket. And get that Woe Strider, that Exile to Kroxa. They probably have another Kroxa in their hand if they made that play. So their hand is going to be things like Claim, Kroxa, a Crow in War. They might have Immersturm Predator. Rankle's a card to keep an eye. Nope, they don't have Rankle. Because they run Gigantha, so they're going to run Predator instead. So what else do they have? Heartless Act, Bone Crusher Giant are sometimes in there. Here's the Predator. Here's the Kroxa. We'll discard the Yorion. Oh, we'll discard the Giant. Predator stands alone, so we can kick it, but we can do it after we take an extra turn. We can also ultimate this Narset, which, that's pretty gross. Emblem. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, 2 damage to any target. So check this out. 2 damage to your Predator. That is the lamest animation though for such a sweet kick. Have you ever seen a tome kill something? Now you have. You're welcome. If the opponent steals 1, they can attack Narset. I don't care, though. I don't care at this point. I already have 1 Narset emblem. 2 is probably unnecessary. Our Rakdos opponent is just all about that Woe Strider life. It's all about it. They've been preying on aggro decks, which this deck is certainly poised to do. And if it can find ways to deal with ultimatum decks, that's really good. But they did not No, nobody expects me. Nobody else is playing this. Just me. Just CGB.
Let me help you practice.
2 damage for your Wolf Strider. Lethal Omen of the Sea. Magma Intervention. Sounds fun. These cards sound fun. We are positioned for the double Narset emblem, possibly next turn. Just prepare your brain for that. Bone Crush my Narset. Okay. Well, they said 2 emblems is too much. They're gonna let the bird live, but 2 emblems, no way. Giant in the house. 3 cards in their graveyard. They buy an elk. All right. Draw step. Let's kick your face. Yorion? He'll probably get a Crow and Ward. Do we care? No.
Strike with a cunning mind.
Don't need this intervention. We've got the board under control, so let's kick away that thing. Let's scry for free, basically. Let's play the Yorion. Blink the Casket, the Tome, the Omen, the Narset.
I misjudged our communication.
Tap land, swing in. My Yorion will get a Crow and Ward, I think. We get the goat.
By bringing its traditions.
I think that made our opponent unhappy. They pulled out the busty emote. I got a little of that myself. No, I don't. Actually hit it so I could snooze people again and Pog Angel them. Little Twitch humor if you don't know what what I mean by Pog Angel. Scry. Shall we finish in style? Our opponents are playing it out today. It's in their stamina is impressive. Bang bang. Flunk. How dare you? How dare you take down the Sky Noodle in such a rude fashion? I have 30 life. If you kill me, you'll have my respect. I'll just pass some priority by using this tome. I'm going to take it to the next level in content creation. We're going to do the post-games wrap in-game, the definition of counting my chickens before they hatch. I like this deck. I think it's a lot stronger than people know, and they don't really know what's coming. It's like a ramp deck without green. And it's a lot, mostly inspired by my Galazeth Prismari Commander and Brawl decks, where you just want to play your ramp card, like Narset or Galazeth, and then the next turn cast huge explosive spells that nobody's really prepared for. Inspired Ultimatum and Magma Opus, and for me that's really fun. It's very exciting Magic, and a world where we're not getting as much of that from the same old decks. So I do recommend, if you have the wild cards, to play this a little bit. And I like the Yorion version better. What can I say? Any deck with a Yorion is going to be more fun for me. Maybe it's not more fun for everybody, but it's definitely more fun for me. What I absolutely love about the deck is doing big, powerful things, and Yorion is certainly a part of that. So I hope that you really enjoyed the video, because I certainly enjoyed making it more than the average meta deck for sure. And to everybody who stayed this long and is still watching the content does support the content, so thank you. If you stayed till the end, you are very much cool in my book. If you'd like to support it a little extra, you can hit the join button below. A YouTube membership has some special perks that you can check out down there, including access to my Twitch VODs on YouTube. So you can use your favorite speed features like 2x speed, and they're ad-free. So that's pretty fun. So click the join button below and support the channel. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.